What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down this 6-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Excited to get into the breakdown, giving you guys the top place to get in that green cash line tonight. As always, guys, if you enjoy this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Trying to get this video to up over 50 likes. So if we can get over the 50 likes goal, would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my lock of the night, guys. So let's talk about it. Let's go game by game here. If you're getting serious about NBA DFS, I do offer a premium content package. Today's the first of the month. That would be the best time to sign up for it. You get the best value because Patreon does charge on the first of the month. That's patreon.com/KJK_DFS. That's linked below in the description. And before I forget to mention it, PrizePicks is the sponsor of the channel. Sign up on PrizePicks. Use that promo code KJKDFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100. First game on the slate, we have Detroit taking on Washington. This game right now, as far as a total, comes in with a 217.5 over-under. It's a 3.5-point spread in favor of the Washington Wizards, so expected to stay close. Not exactly the fastest-paced game in the world, but we do have a usage beast in Kyle Kuzma. As long as Kristaps Porzingis continues to be out, this guy's upside is going to be massive. He's put up 63 and 62 DraftKings points the last 2 times out, respectively. And I don't expect him to slow down here. Detroit's one of the best possible matchups you could ask for. Looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool, they rank 25th overall in points per possession rank, 28th in half-court points per play rank, 20th in offensive rebounding percentage, and 20th in half-court percentage of plays rank. So they're giving up a lot of points, a lot of putbacks, a lot of second-chance opportunities, and Kyle Kuzma is going to continue to have a lot of usage. So for all those reasons, he is going to grade out as someone they're definitely looking to have interest in. It's just a matter of the price tag at this point. His price tag does continue to climb, which can be a little bit scary, but still does look like a really great high upside play. 2 cheap guys on the Washington squad that are looking really good for me tonight are Rui Hachimura and Daniel Gafford at 3.6 and 3.4. Daniel Gafford at 3.6, very good fantasy point producer. He's been playing in the mid-20s in minutes. I've got him projected to play 22 right now at 1.05 DraftKings points per minute. Does look like a pretty decent value play for the value that we have on the slate currently. And Rui Hachimura is only 3.4. He's putting up 0.89 DraftKings points per minute. And he's even playing even more minutes than Daniel Gafford at times. I've got him projected to play 29 right now. So maybe I'm a little bit on the high side on Rui Hachimura. That might adjust in my projections throughout the day. But regardless, these guys both playing in the mid to low 20s. Both produce at high rates and both are very, very cheap on this slate tonight. So they do look like a pretty great place for me. Running it back on the other side with Cleveland, it's pretty simple as long as there continues to be no Rajon Rondo. Cleveland. Running it back with Detroit. So Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey, as well as Jeremiah Grant, are the big 3 that you're really looking to see the most minutes here. So they're the ones you're looking to target. It's just Cleveland's not exactly the best matchup as opposed to Washington. But Washington is not the best matchup as opposed to Detroit. And the only thing that's enticing to me is the price tags. Cade Cunningham at 7.5, Sadiq Bey in the 6K range, and Jeremiah Grant in the 6K range as well do look pretty friendly at their price tags. And then you have Kelly Olynyk at 4.9. We got a bump up and run last time with some injuries, so he's certainly worth monitoring because he does produce at a very high rate. But Marvin Bagley would have to be out for that, and he is listed as questionable. So just keep your eyes on that in the first game. Atlanta taking on Boston is the next game on the slate as far as the total in this one. This game comes in with a 224.5 over-under. It's a 6.5-point spread in favor of Boston. Going to be a great matchup for Boston specifically. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I will definitely have some interest in tonight against this Atlanta Hawks team that does not grade out good defensively whatsoever. They come in right now on this season 28th overall in points per possession rank. That's 3rd worst in the league. 24th in half-court points per play rank. Obviously, that's going to appeal very well to the high-usage guys in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I continue to say it, but I do prefer Jaylen Brown at the pricing discount. I just think they have similar upside when they're both in. They kind of both cut into each other's usage a little bit, enough to where it's limiting Jason Tatum's upside oftentimes, and Jaylen Brown's upside is limited, but his price tag's cheap enough to where he can pay off. So that's kind of my approach in this one. I also do think Marcus Smart and Derek White both do look very good at 6.1 and 6K. Derek White finally starting to see a little bit more of a role on this team. I will say, though, it's still around like 20 minutes. So I definitely lean towards going with Marcus Smart of the 2. Right now, for the time being, Derek White in my projection model does look pretty decent, but I do have him, once again, projected a little bit high. I'm sure once I dial in these projections, he probably won't look quite as good as he does right now in this first look aspect. But I can tell you Marcus Smart's going to look really good at 6.1. The biggest piece of news we're waiting on is John Collins in this one, who's listed as questionable. He is more so doubtful, though. So expect Danilo Gallinari to continue to start and get a lot of minutes. Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, all 3 of which intriguing tournament plays that are a little bit negatively correlated, but are all in the mid to upper 4K range. Lots of upside at those price tags. And then, of course, Trae Young and Clint Capella. Trae Young is obviously the top play. He's priced up the most for good reason. And Clint Capella at 6'1", I do think continues to see a little bit more minutes with there being no John Collins out. So a little bit of a versatile play, worth getting some exposure to in tournaments. Bogdanovich, the same rule applies to him as Gallinari, Hoarder, all these guys. He's negatively correlated. But what I like about him is he comes off the bench as the sixth man, so he gets all the usage with the second unit for this Atlanta Hawks team, as you can see right here off the bench. So Robert Williams would be the last guy I would mention. Don't sleep on him. Clint Capella is a bit of a tough matchup, but he's a very good fantasy point producer, so I mean, he's always worth getting exposure to in tournaments. Brooklyn taking on Toronto is the next game on the slate. Comes in with a 219 over-under. It's an 8-point spread in favor of Toronto. Fred VanVleet's going to be listed as questionable in this one. He was out last night. Certainly keep your eyes on that. That is the big news. Malachi Flynn will continue to start if he's out. And if he's out, we're going to continue to see a bump-up usage to all the big three. Gary Trent, Pascal Siakam, and Scotty Barnes, all three of which become much better plays. Scotty Barnes, I've been talking about constantly. His price tag's just been too cheap for his upside. He went up there and put up 65 DraftKings points last night. So definitely proved my point there that price tag continues to be too low. So I'm going to like him, Siakam, and Trent. Siakam's been dealing with some illnesses, supposedly. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So keep your eyes on that one. Malachi Flynn at 3-1. Last time got the start, played 34 minutes, put up 36 DraftKings points. So obviously he would become another great value play if there is indeed no Fred VanVleet. So keep your eyes on it. Andre Drummond listed as questionable in this one on the Brooklyn side. If he is indeed out, that's a big piece of news because that's going to be a lot more minutes to go around for the Brooklyn Bigs. Would certainly make whoever starts in this game look a lot better. Probably LaMarcus Aldridge. Nick Claxton maybe gets back in the rotation. But whoever starts is kind of who you're wanting to go with on the Brooklyn Nets side of things. And it's going to be a different dynamic in this one because Kyrie Irving should be back now that they're on the road, I believe. I'm not sure the rule of Toronto, though. Maybe he can't in Toronto still. Typically, he plays away games. He's listed on the starting lineups page as being able to start. I believe he can't go into Toronto still, though. So, yeah. Okay, I just refreshed it. Now he's not listed. Yeah, so he's going to continue to be out because of the Toronto. Typically, he'd be playing on the road, but he's going to continue to be out. Okay, so that's great. Just clarified that. So, Seth Curry, Patty Mills is going to continue to get a lot of usage. Bruce Brown, those are the guys that you're really looking to lock in on. Cam Thomas off the bench. Just cycling through these guys. If the game does stay close, it's going to be them that are really carrying the load and having the biggest pieces of the scoring. And like I said, LaMarcus Aldridge obviously becomes much better. Nicholas Claxton becomes much better if there is no Andre Drummond. So certainly keep your eyes on that news. Next game on the slate, we have the LA Clippers taking on the Houston Rockets. This one should be a fast, up-tempo game and great environment for the LA Clippers, as the Houston Rockets are the worst team in the league defensively. They also play at the fastest pace. Obviously, that is a great recipe for some fantasy points. So Reggie Jackson's certainly going to be looking really good on the Clippers side. He continues to see a lot of minutes at the starting point guard position. His price tag continues to come up, though. He's gone all the way from 7.6 to 8.2, so not looking quite as good as he has. But the fact of the matter remains, he's got 50-plus fantasy point upside. At 8.2, if he gets 50-plus, you're still going to be happy with that, so he's still viable. And then you're looking to a Terrence Mann, Ivica Zubac as secondary options, and, of course, a Marcus Morris as well. So mixing and matching these Clippers guys, Ivica Zubac last time 34 minutes against this Houston Rockets team, put up 50 minutes. Being that it's the same matchup, I would anticipate he's going to play in the mid-30s again, and it's just a really great matchup. So playing a bunch of him certainly does make sense. You have Luke Kennard at 4.6 off the bench in this great matchup. Certainly has a lot of upside, can be a little bit versatile. And then running back on the other side with Houston, pretty simple once again. If Kevin Porter Jr. is in, he's certainly going to be the top option. If he's not, we're going to be taking another look to a Dennis Schroeder at 5'9", who should get the start. He played 38 minutes last time, put up 37 DraftKings points at 5'9". He would become one of the top value plays on the slate, of course. Christian Wood at 8'1" is the top pay-up option on Houston. And then you're looking to mix and blend some Jayshawn Tate, some Jalen Green in there. Those are the next two guys in line that I would be wanting to prioritize. Other than that, is there anyone that I'm too intrigued about? Not really. Hopefully Kevin Porter's in, because Kevin Porter I projected in right now, and he does look really good at only a 6K price tag. So he would be my favorite option. I would have a lot of interest in him at that price tag. So Golden State Warriors taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's going to be a great game here. Comes in right now with a 231 over-under. It's a 0.5 point spread in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Going to be up pace, which is always great. And as far as the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson is going to be out. That is a big piece of news. That's a lot of usage taken out of the equation, which makes Stephen Curry look a lot better. It makes Andrew Wiggins look a lot better. And I think Stephen Curry is going to be a phenomenal payoff option on this slate tonight. He put up 53 DraftKings points last time. I think in a game that's expected to stay close, that's much faster pace in comparison to the Dallas game he just played in, where he played 38 minutes. We're talking about 70-plus fantasy point upside for either Stephen Curry tonight. Really going to like him. Really going to like Andrew Wiggins at 6'2" as well. With there being no Klay Thompson, that's a big deal. He gets a lot more usage, so he becomes much better play. Also, Jordan Poole becomes a much better play at 5'2". You could also be taking a much harder look to a Kuminga down here at 4'6". But for me, I'm really just looking to lock in on a bunch of Stephen Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Those are by far my favorite plays. The rest of the guys kind of file through. We never know with the rotations that Steve Kerr runs. Can be a little bit dicey, but we do know for a fact Stephen Curry and Andrew Wiggins are going to get their minutes. So those are guys that really stand out to me for sure. Jordan Poole at 5'2" does look really good, I will say. So he's, guy I just talked about. Andrew Wiggins looks really good at 6'2", guy I just talked about. So those two guys really do like them. And then running it back on the other side, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards continue to be too cheap. I say it every single video, but we saw it last time. 38 DraftKings points at a 7.2 price tag for D'Angelo Russell. Anthony Edwards, 34. Decent, but we're talking like 50-plus fantasy point upside out of these two guys every single time they take it forward. It's just a matter of time. Karl-Anthony Towns at 10-1 continues to be too priced up for those guys being in. So my approach has been just to play both those other guys and fade Karl-Anthony Towns and hope they take up all the usage and Cat doesn't have a big game. The other approach would be to play Cat and fade those other two guys because he's going to have to really have a huge game at that price tag to pay off. I just don't think he's worth it right now. I really don't think he's worth it. And then the other guy you're looking to is a Patrick Beverley, who continues to play a decent amount of minutes, right around 30 a game at a 5K price tag. He does continue to look like a pretty great play at his price tag. D'Angelo Russell, Patrick Beverley looking very similar as far as my top upside plays in the Minnesota side. Anthony Edwards actually tops those guys, though. So those are the top three. And Malik Beasley at 3-3 does look somewhat interesting as well. If you want to get some Malik Beasley exposure in your tournaments, I don't hate it. It's playing like right around 20 minutes a game, 0.8 DraftKings point. A little bit dicey, but D'Angelo Russell or Anthony Edwards gets in foul trouble or something along those lines, that could be a spot that opens up. Dallas taking on the LA Lakers is the last game on the slate. It's a 217 over-under, 5.5 point spread in favor of Dallas, expected to stay close. The biggest piece of news we're waiting on in this game, of course, is LeBron James. He's listed as questionable. He's been listed as questionable every game, though, so I think he's just going to continue to play. He's going to have a lot of usage for this Lakers squad, so he will continue to be a valid play. If the game can stay close, the Lakers have been getting blown out. He still put up 49 DraftKings points in a game that turned into an absolute blowout last time. So LeBron James still going to be a really great option that has a lot of upside. So continue to prioritize him in your tournament lineups. Continue to prioritize Luka Doncic as well. This is going to be a great matchup for him. One of the best matchups he's gotten in quite some time. He's had to face the Golden State Warriors and the Utah Jazz the last two times out, two of the top defenses in the league. Now he gets to take on an LA Lakers squad that has been dreadful defensively. So Luka Doncic is going to be phenomenal. Really good spot for him. Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie are your two secondary guards off of Luka Doncic that have the biggest upside. Jalen Brunson, second in usage. Spencer Dinwiddie, the guy off the bench that has all the usage. So those are the guys you're looking to load up on there. In the secondary options on the LA Lakers, you have Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Talen Horton-Tucker, all three of which are going to be viable options as long as there is no Anthony Davis. They're going to be expected to take a lot more on, try to keep their team in these games. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook, last and certainly least in my book, because I don't want to play this guy, man. He has been terrible. His ownership just has been really high. He always looks like a great play in the projection model because statistically he does have a great fantasy point per minute production. Historically, he has a really good fantasy point per minute production, but this guy's just not the same, man. He's just not the same. For me, it's playing LeBron, it's fading Russell Westbrook, and it's playing Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, or one of those secondary options at a cheaper price tag than Russell Westbrook. At this point, I'm just so stubborn about it. I don't want to play the guy. He's been terrible. He consistently busts. Why do I want to be part of the 50% of guys that are playing Russell Westbrook? Like, for instance, on FanDuel tonight, he's 6'6". That's really cheap. He looks like a great play in projection models. He's going to be very highly owned. He looks like a great play in my projection model. He's the #1 play in my projection model on FanDuel right now. He puts up 1.12 FanDuel points per minute. He's projected to play 33 minutes. That looks really good. But you look at his production, and it's right in front of your face. 20, 26. I don't encourage game log watching. Typically, if you've been watching my content, you hear me say, don't let his recent performances talk you off him. Play him. You got to stick through it. Russell Westbrook's just not one of those guys for me right now. He just can't shoot. He turns the ball over so much on a site like FanDuel, too, where you're, -7 points last time from turnovers. It's just not good. So I'm on team fade Russ. I don't like playing Russell Westbrook right now. I used to love playing Russell Westbrook in his heyday. I played him every single night on FanDuel when I first started playing DFS in 2016, where he was a beast. But you just can't do it anymore, man. It's a shame. But Scottie Barnes continues to be a phenomenal play, 5-5. He's a guy that I'm just going to be talking about every single day. He could probably be my lock of the night again tonight. I won't do it because I have to switch it up and give you guys some different plays. But Scottie Barnes looks phenomenal again on FanDuel. So I do like him a lot. Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, who we discussed, both 5K range, 5K for Poole, 5-5 for Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins looks just like an absolute lock over here on FanDuel tonight. So he's a guy you're certainly going to want to be playing for sure at a 5-5 price tag. Certainly want to get some exposure there to him. Anthony Edwards at 6-6 now. I mean, come on, man. This is a guy we've seen go out there and put up 70 FanDuel points. That's just too cheap. I know he hasn't been as consistent, but that's just absurd. So play Anthony Edwards on FanDuel. I'm going to like him a lot. Pascal Siakam at 8-3 looks really good if there's no Fred VanVleet tonight. I will like him. Malik Monk at 4-4 with there being no Anthony Davis. Jason Tatum at 8-9. Stephen Curry at 9-7. Talked about liking him a lot. Some options you could be looking to. So, yeah, Luka Doncic at 10-8 is going to be a great pay-up option. Trae Young at 9-5. Cade Cunningham and Reggie Jackson are both priced very friendly on FanDuel for their upside. So, I like that. Marcus Smart at 6-2. We talked about him. Seth Curry at 6-2. We talked about him with there being no Kyrie Irving. Dennis Schroeder at 5-5 becomes a phenomenal play if there is no Kevin Porter. I like Kevin Porter if he's in. Kyle Kuzma at 8-7 continues to be priced much more reasonable over here on FanDuel. He's seen his price tag come up, but he's still worth it. A guy that's put up 57 and 60. That's going to be well worth the 8-7. Jaylen Brown at 8K looks really good on FanDuel. Jason Tatum at 8-9 looks really good on FanDuel. So, a lot of what we've discussed already. Dylan Gallinari at 4-9. Kevin Huerter at 4-9. A lot of what we discussed, guys. Carmelo Anthony is a secondary option at 4-8. Looks decent for sure. Christian Wood in a fast up-tempo game. Ivica Zubac at 5-8 against that Houston squad. Daniel Gafford's minutes are somewhat limited where you can only play one center. That's a little bit scary for me, but he's viable. And then keep your eyes on the Andre Drummond news. That is a big piece of news. So, all right, guys, that's all for me in this one. Before I let you guys go, of course, I got to give you my lock of the night. If you haven't signed up for PrizePicks, go ahead and do so. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100 when you deposit over there today, guys. Check out my PrizePicks videos, and if you want to sign up for the premium content, now's the time to do so. Patreon.com/KJK_DFS. Sign up on the first of the month to get the top value. And I'm looking forward to you joining the team. So, all right, guys, now it's time. Let's get into it. Lock of the night. Let's go. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Stephen Curry. Taking on this Minnesota Timberwolves squad with no Klay Thompson. That's a big difference in his usage, and the spread's only a half-point spread. Close game with a big total of 231. Everything matching up for Stephen Curry to have a big game here. Putting up 1.33 DraftKings points per minute on the season. Got him projected play in the mid to upper 30s as far as FanDuel is concerned. 1.25 FanDuel points per minute. And I think this is a spot where Stephen Curry's upside is massive. We're talking 70-plus fantasy points tonight. Possibility from Stephen Curry. Think he's my top priority on the slate. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there we go, guys. Stephen Curry, get him in your lineups. Love him on both websites tonight. No Klay Thompson, fast up-tempo game. Probably going to get a full allotment of minutes in a game that's actually expected to stay close. It is the recipe for a huge game out of Stephen Curry. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Wishing you all the best of luck on this slate tonight. Hopefully, we'll see you later on in the live stream. If we don't, we will see you in the next one.